Aztecs. Yeah, that's a good team that played well on a good night. I'm really freaking proud of them. A lot of great emotional toughness that they've shown over the past 14 days to respond to coaching, to respond to the situations, and to respond to an incredible opportunity that they had tonight that they really capitalized on. I think it's a really good football team. So, we're a good team, and it's a great start. It's early in the season, and it feels good. It's good to be in the locker room with those boys and all the hard work that they put in, the sacrifice and the discipline and the selflessness that they showed to have a night like that, and be able to share it with our community. So that's pretty cool.
Coach, you mentioned response. You guys had to respond early defensively as Kyle had a long drive to open the game. Just how much of a difference did that make in just game plan going forward, getting to each stop, keeping the score at 0-0?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a ton about response, about having emotional toughness right through the good, the bad, the ugly, and all the things that occur to respond properly, and for those guys to dig in and not concede. Coming into this game, when the opponents have gotten into the red zone, we've given up touchdowns. 100% of the time we've given up touchdowns. And for our guys to respond and to dig in and not concede anything there was huge, right? It keeps momentum on our boundary. And then for those guys to constantly do that throughout, I was really, really proud of that snap in and snap out from, again, really early on in the game to even in the back half. Didn't matter who was in, they recognized that we had a tremendous opportunity to throw a goose egg up on the board against a really talented team, and to be able to do that in today's day and age of college football, that's a big deal. So really proud of the effort, and it's a really big deal.
You talked about on Monday the prominence of their quarterback and how simple their offense is. That's a deadly combination. Tonight it was not. What was the plan of attack defensively, both to begin the game but also continue the game, to get him off his first and second weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to make sure that we took away the layups. Right? We stressed a ton about the pre-snap movements that they had and to force them to work through a progression. And that's the mental toughness piece, right? Snap after snap, they tested their opponents, they tested us, and our kids showed tremendous mental toughness to see what was going on, communicate with urgency, take away the gimmies, and allowed our pass rush to really impact and affect him. And I thought staff did a tremendous job putting a plan together, disguising some looks, making him think through some things, and we wanted to put him in some positions that he hadn't been in before. And again, trying to pressure test some of the things that we knew about him coming into it. And I thought our kids did a really good job executing that plan. Again, from the first snap to the very last snap, regardless of who was in. Really neat to see.
You also spoke about too that during the bye week you were going out and kind of quote unquote campaigning to get more people for the game here tonight. The home team has won every single game in this series between you and Cal. How does home field advantage play in your guys' for tonight?
It helps with the momentum, right? I think momentum is a very real thing, and to have the stands filled the way that they were, and to have the energy, and to have that support when our defense is out there on third down, to make it difficult. I mean, there was one series right there where we got 2 false starts back to back. Like that's the fans, like that's the environment. They can have a tremendous impact on the game. So I think everyone who showed up, like, this is a spot to be, right? Like, tell your friends, come one, come home. We got a few more of these opportunities to go, and we need all San Diego to be here to be with us and to create a tremendous home field environment and one of the greatest stadium, right, in all of college football. Like, this is the spot to be, and we need the whole community to show up and to support and be a part of this as we go.
Sean, you worked for so long on building this program and how to do it. How does it make you feel that this is the first shutout against the Power 5 teams since 1975 against us?
Good, right? I mean, success is always a lagging indicator, right? There's a whole heck of a lot of work that comes before a night like tonight, and it makes me feel good. And I just told the boys, you got 24 hours to enjoy it, right? Because we haven't arrived. There's more work to be done. It's a great, probably defining moment that we'll look back on as we go forward, that we'll be able to continue to recruit to with all these young men that are out here that we'll go talk to, right, as we go into a really bright future. But staying present in the here and the now, right? This was really, really good. But I mean, in this day and age, you're only as good as your next performance, right? So we gotta celebrate this thing the right way, and then again, it goes back to that word response. Right? There's gonna come a time, where on Monday we gotta respond, and there's things that we gotta clean up on this tape, and then go back to work because it doesn't matter in 7 days from now what this outing is, quite frankly, right? Like, we gotta go earn the next one and build off this opportunity, but, man, it feels good.
The defense played incredible tonight, especially in that third quarter where they had kind of building momentum off every single play. What does that do for not just the defense but the offense, where it seems like everything's going on the other side of the ball for the team?
Again, I speak to momentum with that, right? And we emphasize the heck out of turnovers. We had our chance, early on in those first 2 opportunities where we came up short to gain of inches, right? But just having confidence in the call and trusting your keys, and those balls that we had opportunities on where we didn't punch at it or we were a step behind. Guys trusted their keys. They trusted the prep. They trusted their work. They played with confidence. They played fast. They were able to get their hands on it, and then they go and score 14 points on their own defensively, right? Like, that's huge. To be able to have non-offensive touchdowns, whether they come defensively or special teams, that's huge. So to generate those turnovers, again, for our offense to continue to do a great job of valuing and protecting the football, to win the turnover margin. Again, testament to all the guys taking the coaching, the staff doing a tremendous job of emphasizing that, so we can change, we can flip the game and put a little bit more pressure on their boundary and keep the momentum on ours.
Coach, talk about Jaden's game, 15 of 18 today, through the long 80-yard pass. Talk about the progress you've seen him from week to week.
Yeah, wanted him to be efficient, right? Wanted him to start fast. Wanted to help him in that process. Felt like I hadn't done a good enough job of that. A shooter can get in a rhythm by seeing the ball go in the hole, right? So I wanted to create some easy completions for him early on. We knew that we were going to get challenged with man-to-man coverage. It's what they love to do, and obviously what we did against Washington State and the way that we were challenged. You put some things down on tape, it's going to get pressure tested, right? So to have the long one early, I think really kind of changed some things. We saw a lot more 2 hot zone structure after that, which allowed us to kind of simplify some things and be able to dictate some things. But again, like, good decision making, and I think what goes unnoticed on a lot of those completions is the work that's getting done on the edge by the outside receivers blocking. We were able to use some of our perimeter RPO game as relief against some of their field pressure in particular, and spit the ball out for, whatever analytics says is, a 1 yard in the air, completion. But then because of the tremendous effort and the pride there, so guys took in blocking, which was really poor the previous time that we went out. Like, they did a great job with it today, the outside receivers in particular, and that was a sense of pride. But again, like, we wanted to test and we wanted to challenge, and they did a great job with it. And then Jordan did a great job running after catch on a lot of those, instances, So he was efficient, he had great decision making. And again, his process has been pure, as we've gone through, and he's been working really, really diligently. I think it's a testament to the amount of time that he spent in the building during the bye week. He made the choice to invest that time so that he could play cleaner, he could play more efficient, and we could play on schedule more often like we did tonight.
Sean, there were a lot of close games last year where you guys didn't find a way to win. What does it mean psychologically now to have a game like this as you move forward?
I think winning's a skill, and we talked a lot about that over the past 14 days to where, as a winner, you have to figure out how to win, and that looks a little bit different each and every single time that you go out. But there was a tremendous effort by the guys that we weren't going to waste. So I thought the staff did a really good job managing situations, managing the games as things went through, and the situations of the game changed. And the kids did a great job again responding to each situation that was presented. Like the defense in the third quarter. It was funny. Like me and Robert talking and. Obviously they're on the field quite a bit, but they're doing tremendous work. And it's like, he's like, hey, we might need a timeout here. Like, we got guys, obviously, we get the pick 6 and Chris runs it back, and then a lot of those same guys are running down on kickoff. And, there's a reason because we value teams and all the things. And it's like, hey, like, we might need a timeout. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, we got it. And we get another pick. And I'm like, we don't need a timeout. Like, good job. But you get on the field. Like, you guys earn a rest, get another turnover. Right? So, but again, like, it's, our program, right? Like, better than anyone else, Kurt. Right? Like, you've been covering us for a long time. Like, celebrating the 2015 team tonight, there's a winning strand in our DNA that we're not entitled to. That this team has to learn how to win. And I feel like a moment like tonight, to the preparation that they had, and then within the moment, hearing the guys champion and parrot the things that we believe, that, hey, it's not done. Hey, refocus. We have to respond, do the good and the bad. that's the maturation process of this team as this team grows uniquely in their own way to reinstate and reestablish that winning trait that this prideful program has.
Coach, you mentioned Jordan last year as a freshman, 40 catches, 440 yards. Came into this game as a leading receiver in terms of receptions, added another 9 for 154 yards. What can you credit his contributions and how does he go on scoring forward?
A lot of things. He's an unbelievable young man that hasn't been given anything in his whole life. He's committed to getting better and still needs to practice consistently better. He'll be the first one to tell you that. But he has the courage to empty the tank, and he's starting to find his voice as a vocal leader, which is really cool. And the only way you get to do that is by walking the walk each and every single day before you can start talking and being vocal about it, right? So he's got a superpower in running after a catch because of his strength and his natural contact balance. He's becoming a more refined route runner and just the nuance and the craft of being a wide receiver. And I say this in a very exciting way, like there's still so much growth and there's still so much potential that's in there. You know, like I think to his second target where his feet are kind of underneath him and, you know, his feet get outside his Madden circle so he slips and he can't make the contested catch. And he's coming to the boundary like, hey, my feet got wide. You know, it's like a golfer who's out on the course and he's able to correct his own swing without having a swing coach there. Like, that's awesome growth. That's awesome, you know, maturation. And then again, like being on the tablet with him and getting the coach in personally, like he's the same dude each and every single day, which is really, really cool. And he's got a great competitive spirit and excited to continue to lead him and the work that he's going to do. And I know how he's going to show up each and every single day, which is a lot of fun.
Coach, what can you say about Mr. Williams stepping in for your captain, middle linebacker, and helping the defense do what you guys did tonight?
Yeah, I mean, such a productive player. The reason that we went out and got him. Obviously, you know, that inside linebacker position is a physical spot. And one of the things for our style of play is that we always want to have the depth that is needed throughout the duration of the season. And so having him to step in and be as productive and not miss a beat is everything. I mean, he's a physical kid, he's a smart kid, and he loves putting his pads on things. And that's the way the game's meant to be played. And so I think, you know, the guys feed off that. And, you know, again, when you talk about next man up, like, again, coach is cliche, right? But, like, next man up. There it is in practice. Like, there it is in a real world rep to where, you know, Tano's a warrior and Tano's going to bounce back. And, again, having the depth of talent that we do is going to allow us to go deeper. And as we continue to climb harder and things get more challenging, you know, it's going to require all of us. It's going to require a full group effort. And the number of guys who got game reps and game snaps today is crucial. And Mr. being able to do that at a high level is, again, great to see.
Coach, individually, Lucky and Christian didn't get big yards, but cumulatively, they averaged 5 yards a carry. And can you talk about their performance and then the offensive line and the job that did and how it fit into the overall complexion of the game? Sort of controlled by scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, it's where the game is won, right? And again, it kind of goes to the way that we've revamped the offensive line, the tremendous job that Coach Schmidt has done in coaching and leading and guiding and challenging the boys up front. It speaks to the tremendous work that Lucky's done while he's continued to get better. That has been well documented and we've talked a ton about. But like, we knew going into this that that's a really good defense, right? Like, they were the #1 defense in the ACC coming into this game. And we knew that the yards were going to be hard to come by, but we felt like if we could establish ourselves on base downs against their base structure, that would lead to an advantage as we move through the game, right? Like kind of like a boxing match where there was going to be some body blows, right? Like if we could just keep landing those body shots, that eventually, you know, that would progress and the levee would kind of break, and to be able to go on a 13-play drive when, again, there's a tremendous effort in special teams, there's a tremendous effort by the defenses being made, and it's like, again, challenging those guys up front in particular, hey, we're going to lean on you, because at this point in the game, it's not so much about them over there as the opponent shifted to how can we possess the ball, take time off the clock, get more points, and like mathematically put this game to bed. And to be able to go on, I believe it was a 13-play drive where the bulk of it, we were leaning on the boys up front and getting hard, dirty yards, and then be able to finish that thing with a tough physical run with 2-gap power. Like, should probably run power more often to do a football
Like
play.
being on the field in that third quarter with those big plays the defense is going.
It was awesome. I mean, it's really cool. We've been talking about it for a long time, right? Like the potential that this team has had, and to see them close that gap. It's a tremendous job by our coaches. More importantly, it's a tremendous job by the kids, right? Of, again, responding appropriately, really kind of putting the blinders on, insulating themselves within our football world and tuning out the external noise. Now you guys are going to write all this great stuff about how awesome we are, and I'm going to have to insulate them from that so they don't listen to, the proverbial rat poison and everything, right? But, for them to, just commit to our process, recommit to the process, right? And detach from the results, and to see them, again, like before we came out of the locker room, it was like, hey, it's 0-0. Like, it's 0-0. Don't look at the scoreboard, go play each play for what it is. Like the kids saying that, you're like, we got them. We're building something special, and we got them. And then for them to not only say it and to think it, but more importantly, go do it and to finish it, we got them. Really cool.
Coach, Trey White gathered his first sack of the season tonight. How important is it to get him going, and how much does that impact the confidence of this defense?
Yeah, I mean, stats are easy to point to when it comes to sacks in particular. Trey does an unbelievable job of impacting the game in a lot of ways. Really simply put, Trey's one of our best players, and we expect him to play at a really high level, and he did that tonight. And again, even though it's one sack, like when you go back and you look at it, especially in our third down cheetah package when we have 4 defense ends on the field, there's so much attention that's paid to Trey. It allows August, allows Jared, allows Hendo, to go to work as well, right? So, Trey plays with a relentless motor, and the impact that he has on the game is far greater than just one line on the stat sheet of sacks. He's been playing at a high level. Most importantly, he's been practicing at a high level, and again, he continues to grow as a vocal leader as well. But yeah, it sure helps when your good players play really good.
Coach, building on that, August getting another 2 sacks, and that was 3.5 this season. As teams game plan for Trey, how nice is it to have somebody else step up as people are focusing on Trey?
Yeah, again, it goes to the depth of the talent, that we've been able to accumulate here on the Mason, right? And it goes back to the work that the kids are putting in and the positions that our staff are putting them in. And yeah, it speaks to how unselfish Trey is. Trey could care less. There's one stat that Trey cares about. Did the Aztecs win? Yes, Trey's happy, right? And so having a guy like Trey who has that mindset, who works really, really hard, brings all those other edges along. Coach Manning's done a great job leading those guys. Coach Archer's done a great job with those pressure packages to be able to create some havoc with 4 so that we can flood zones with 7 and make things hard for a young quarterback like we did tonight. And again, as we continue to develop those guys' crafts, hopefully we'll be able to apply as much pressure as possible with 3 to 4 and be able to flood some zones, and that creates the math to swing in our favor.
Owen also led with 8 tackles today for the team.
Yeah.
What did you think of his performance today?
Owen's been playing at a really high level, and I've done a really poor job of promoting him to you guys. Like, he's been playing some of the highest quality ball through these 3 weeks, and has been doing a tremendous job. Like, he's a guy, again, like when you talk about consistently good, not occasionally great, he's been doing it, and doing it since ball has started. And he's just such a great kid and kind of soft-spoken. I take it for granted at times, but man, he shows up in a big-time way. He's got great traits, and more importantly, he's got a great heart, and he competes like a warrior each and every single time that he goes out, and has battled through injuries, since we've been together last year and all the way through. And yeah, he does a great job for us, and he really makes us go. He's a physical football player, and loves to play the game and loves to compete. And so we can't have enough guys like him. His competitive spirit, his competitive maturity, and he really brings the other guys along.
What do you think, Rory?
That's all you got? Yep. You guys are way past your bedtime here. Guys falling asleep. Night night. I'm gonna go Aztecs. We'll get out of here. What do you think? Appreciate you guys. Go Aztecs.
Thanks,